One of the really cool benefits of cold immersion from a stress physiology perspective is that a lot of times our stress physiology is kind of broken. The stress system is meant, in a traditional sense, to be able to activate all your reserves to run from a lion. And then if you survive, you're supposed to be able to come back to stillness and calm down. But unfortunately, what happens for us in modern times is, like, as we said, someone cuts you off in traffic, your boss gives you an extra task at work, and then you get a sudden bill, and then you have an argument with your partner, and then we get stressed, and then we come down a little bit, and then we get stressed, and then we come down a little bit, but we never come back to baseline. And it's so important to kind of reset the stress physiology that you have some way of coming back to baseline. Now, for some, that could be meditation, breath work, yoga, any number of things, but the coming back to baseline is profoundly important. And it just so happens that cold exposure is a really phenomenal way to reset that stress response, because when you go into the cold water, you have a massive spike in the stress response, because, as we said, it's a primordial fear of 33-degree water, 30. It's like, okay, so you go in there and you have what's called a cold shock response. The body wants to go into panic. But as you navigate that with your breath and your awareness, as you talked about, you actually allow the body to come back to baseline while you're still under the influence of the stress. And that's how you start to master stress and understand that it's an inner response to the stress and never the outer stress. Because if you can be really calm and still and centered and in control of your breath in the presence of being submerged in water that's in the 30s, you can do anything.